Oh man, the more that's coming out about this Shohei Ohtani and Ippei Mizuhara gambling story, the worse it looks for everyone involved. For those not caught up to speed, there's a gambling investigation on Shohei Ohtani's interpreter, Ippei Mizuhara, for allegedly $4.5 million worth of gambling debt that was done through an illegal bookie in Southern California. But this is where it gets crazy because a lot of the payments for the gambling debt has been through Shohei Ohtani's bank accounts, and this is where everything gets murky. Now, I want to be clear. This is not a speculation. Shohei Ohtani's name is definitely on at least 2 wire transfers of a total of $1 million to cover Ippei's gambling debts that he shouldn't have been doing in the first place, considering that gambling is illegal in the state of California. Definitely illegal through bookmakers. So this is now where we start getting to see a little bit more of the investigative reporting. Now, the real MVP of the investigation is ESPN's Tisha Thompson, who has been going through hell to basically get to the bottom of this story and get the truth when everything is getting crisscrossed when it comes to all the details. Normally, I have a lot of criticisms about ESPN, but Tisha Thompson on the baseball writers and investigative side is doing an absolutely fantastic job of putting together the timeline of events and how we got here. She's asking all the hard questions and reaching out to the jurisdictions that are also involved in this to really get to the ramifications of what can happen if things should really go sour for Shohei Ohtani. Also reaching out to Major League Baseball of their stance on things, and they are, as you can imagine, as quiet as possible without having the full details. What we do know is that this has prompted now a federal investigation, given Shohei Ohtani's name on these wire transfers, paying off a illegal bookmaker in the state of California. Now, really, the big question is, did Shohei know about it? Was he involved? Was he betting on baseball? This can have huge implications. Now, I'm no fan of the Dodgers, but they inherited a shit sandwich on this one because this gambling goes back to when Shohei Ohtani was on the Angels. I believe these payments happened in September and October of 2023, at the time when Shohei Ohtani still had not decided his playing future when he was a free agent. So originally, Ippei Mizuhara spoke to ESPN full volition, basically saying that the situation was that Shohei, as a good friend, as a BFF, was covering his gambling debts. He's embarrassed, he knows that he's let him down, and he's willing to take on the full amount of the consequences. Now, that story later changed on Wednesday, as we can see below, that now Ohtani's spokespeople advised ESPN not to publish that story because, wouldn't you know it, surprise, surprise, Ippei was lying the whole time. Shohei had no idea about any of this stuff, which completely contradicts the initial statement by Ippei Mizuhara. So here we go. ESPN then reaches out to Ippei, asking if he had lied in his previous interview, and of course he says yes, and walks back pretty much all of what he said. He tells ESPN that Ohtani had no knowledge of his gambling activities, debts, or efforts to repay them. Of course, we go on. Obviously, this is all my fault. Everything that I've done, I'm ready to face all the consequences. But as far as theft or embezzlement, he has been told not to comment, so that's pretty suspicious. So now it gets crazy. When did Shohei become aware of the situation? He says, "They told me I can't answer anything." Who's they? Is it Shohei's representatives? He said no. Is he taking any kind of payment to become the fall guy? Of course he's going to say no. And he also says, has he had any kind of agreement to say this new statement? There has been no agreement, according to him. Of course, the initial lying, the initial speaking to ESPN, and now his changing of his statement, now that more information is coming to light. It's hard to believe that he's basically retracting his initial story on his own free will. But he's painting himself out to be the bad guy and kind of ousting himself as to the gambling situation and basically everything involved, because now he's saying that he acted on his own free will and that Shohei had no involvement whatsoever. What's pretty important to note too is ESPN asked if he has ever purposely misinformed Shohei Ohtani while interpreting the issues that the reporting has asked about. Of course, he says no, he has never done that. Last question, and this is the big one. Did you take money from Shohei's accounts without his knowledge? And there was absolutely no response. This is the key right now. So here we go. It went from Shohei being a good friend to cover for his buddy that was gambling, that was in the hole, decided to get him out of the $4.5 million hole that he basically sunk himself into, to now the story is we're talking about theft, and a massive theft. Now, this has prompted a federal investigation, so this is just the very beginning of what we're going to see. obviously, baseball, the Dodgers, MLB, they want all of this to go away. Baseball has had its history of gambling scandals in the past, and they do not want another one, especially with their star player Shohei Ohtani at the helm of it. All information is getting crisscrossed, but I'm imagining that the federal investigation will tell us everything that we need to know. At least we can hope so. At the end of the day, there are some good investigative journalists reporting on this, and I'm hoping that we can get the full truth about what's going on here and not some swept under the rug story simply because we don't want to bury the top star in MLB right now.